Hi everyone, my name is Claude.
And I'm Clinton, and we're the Lamest Defenders. On this week's We've Got Issues, Claude and I review the most recent chapters for Annihilation, Scourge, and the first issue of the new tie-in for the Square Enix Avengers game comes out this week.
Yep, let's do it.
That's a tongue twister.
Welcome back, everyone. So for my first comic for this week, it was Annihilation Scourge, and it was a Silver Surfer one-shot. This one really revolves around, I guess, Silver Surfer's entire... I don't really know what's going on with his ongoing series with Silver Surfer Black and everything like that, and it doesn't do a good enough job explaining, I guess, some of the things that are happening with him, because I guess he loses his ability to reach out and physically touch someone. He's basically a ghost, like a phantom. Like he when he tries to interact with somebody, he goes right through them, and he only really, the comic says he's got the power to destroy because his energy and his cosmic blast like still do damage, and I guess he's got a new ability now where he can meld with someone, and that's how the comic starts, because he's just being a little emo in space, sitting on his little surfboard, and he sees this huge ship come out of a rift, and basically they're escaping the negative zone. So he just he sees that, and he wants to help because he sees all these souls dying, and he sees there's somebody that's still alive. It's an alien, and she's like bursting into atmosphere into a planet, and she's not conscious enough to activate, I guess, her life support systems. So he can't interact with her.
Okay.
So I don't know. This is like the highest form of invasion of privacy. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to meld with her so I can control her so she can activate her life support systems, which he does.
Sure.
So then he's like, what the hell is happening here? Because he has no idea about this whole Annihilation thing and the Cancerverse, like trying to infect every, the negative zone, and then also the 616 regular universe. So he goes through that rift the ship created, and he sees just everything in the negative zone's on fire. And he's like, what's going on here, And he... that's basically where he gets to see some of the effects of this this big bad, and he has no idea what's causing who is leading this Cancerverse like plague basically. So eventually he comes back through the same rift, and he meets up with it's Sentry basically. His name's Bob, and it's Sentry's alter ego, and he kind of explains why. Well, first of all, Bob's floating on an asteroid in space.
Classic Bob.
Yeah. And Silver Surfer's like, what are you doing out here? And he's like, well...
You lost, bro?
Yeah, he's like, it's a long story. But basically, Mr. Fantastic suggested that Sentry go to the negative universe too, because Sentry, the character, he has the void, and if he taps too much into it, he has the potential to really... do a lot of harm.
Exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah, exactly. So he thought, Mr. Fantastic gave him some really poor advice. He's like, absorb the negative energy and let the void, maybe that frees him somehow, and it totally did. Yeah. So now you have the void running around like fully out of the Sentry, and he's taking up like an evil version of Sentry, just wrecking havoc. So all in all, it's a very convoluted story. In the very beginning, it doesn't do a good enough job explaining Silver Surfer in his current situation. But, it does a better job towards the tail end of the book. And it's not my favorite Annihilation, I guess, tie-in here. But it's still good. It still moves the story along. And there's a big spoiler, and I'll just say it now. So if you don't want it spoiled, just go ahead and scram. And so basically, Silver Surfer melds with Bob.
Okay.
And now they're Silver Sentry?
Silver Bob Surfer?
Yeah. He's a really rad dude. And so basically, it's Sentry and Silver Surfer into one. So that'd be very interesting because those are two very powerful characters. So we'll see where it goes.
Would you recommend this issue?
Yeah, I feel like it's necessary with the event. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Okay. But, it's not awful. It's not
Well, I mean, we have to, and also to be fair, there's only 6 issues for this, including the last one coming out next Wednesday. So I don't know how long that comic is going to be. I feel like it's going to be 50 to 60 pages. Honestly, like it's just going to be ridiculous. But I was thinking while you were talking about the Negative Zone and the Cancerverse and the 616 and Silver Surfer, like if someone just stumbled onto our channel and just was like, "Oh, I'll just randomly click to this time code," like, they would have no idea what we're talking about. Well,
that's Marvel's own fault with their comics. It's just so crazy.
It's so funny. Like, that's amazing. I love that. But continuing on Annihilation Scourge, I reviewed Beta Ray Bill, the one-shot that came out this week as well. It basically focuses on Beta Ray Bill protecting this particular planet. For some reason, he has Lockjaw of the Inhumans.
Okay.
Don't know why. It just said, he's been following me around for a while, so why not? So they have a very comedic way of dealing with the villain in the first few pages, and then Beta Ray Bill is just kind of, the people of this planet are so grateful that he's protecting them that they give him food and mead, and he's just feasting for like 7 days. He just grows bored. He's like, I haven't hit something.
He's eating hay because he's a horse.
Like, I haven't hit anything for a week.
Yeah.
I'm bored now. I need to go do something. So he and Lockjaw are planning to get off the planet. And then in one of the better pages, two of these native populace are like stacked on each other like kids in a trench coat. And they got some monster thing, so they start attacking. They start coming at Beta Ray Bill. And then the chief of this planet's like, "Oh no, Beta, help us!" And he goes, "This is a terrible ruse. Like, this is just 2 of your native habitants." It's like, and the chief's like, "I know, it was me. I'm sorry. Like, we wanted you to stay. Like, feel glory for one more minute, just to stay.
Just hit on some kids.
Yeah,
if you get them, they're dead."
So what happens then is that the Negative Zone rift opens again, or not opens again, but like what happened with the Silver Surfer issue, and the Sentry comes out. So, and it also has this really cool Cancerverse version of Doctor Strange.
Okay, cool.
Which was really awesome. Yeah. Like, that was great. I want to read more about that because that would be so much fun. But so Beta Ray Bill deals with the Doctor Strange, and then he cannot beat the Sentry because the Sentry is, I don't even think he's Marvel's Superman. He's Marvel's impossible man.
Yeah.
Like, he is insane. Like, you cannot beat this guy, basically. So that's why they barely use him, because he's so overpowered. It's just not worth it.
And he's crazy.
Yeah, there's no character there. So it's just like, okay, great. So a big spoiler coming up right now. Give you about a few seconds.
Go on, get.
You get?
Yeah.
All right. So Beta Ray throws his hammer axe thing, Stormbreaker, and he basically gives up his power. He throws Stormbreaker. It catches Sentry in the guts, and then it
in the impeccable pecs.
Yeah, and then it just throws him back into the portal that's opening and the rift, and it closes behind him, so he's trapped in the Negative Zone again.
Okay.
So basically, what happens after that is Beta Ray Bill is just down to his native state, and he's still with Lockjaw. Lockjaw saves him again out of the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I saved him, but I need my hammer back. So we got to go back to the Negative Zone." So again, that's all gonna culminate in Scourge.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah. And Scourge coming out next week. I'm actually kind of curious to see where it goes. This was actually one of the better ones.
Okay.
I thought this was more enjoyable than the Fantastic Four one last week.
Right.
So I would definitely recommend this one. This one was good.
Cool. So my last comic review was it's Marvel's Avengers, which is the new video game that comes out next summer, and this one shot is for Iron Man. So they have it's not really a one shot, but it's a continuous little game universe that they're doing for this. So if you watch our Marvel's Avengers, like why that game has left us kind of disappointed, because it kind of looks like I guess. But with this comic, it does a little bit of a better job, kind of with the narrative aspects, because the story trailer and everything for the game didn't look that great.
Yeah.
With this one, it's more of an espionage story, and you have more, I guess, introduced villains from the Marvel, like the actual Marvel universe. Only, they're based on what they would look like.
So you have
you have the Beetle, you have Whirlwind, then you have Absorbing Man, and they all, I don't know what it is with this game, like universe, but all the character design looks awful.
I guarantee they're going to have some throwaway line between Natasha and Tony. And it's like, remember when we fought Whirlwind that one time?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. And like, I read that in a comic once. That's exactly why they're doing this.
Right.
So.
And it just, it's cool, I guess. I mean, the story isn't bad. It's still, whatever. It felt like it's totally unnecessary when you play the game. This is all going to be fluff, like you said. Yeah. My favorite part was actually Tony Stark's entire, armor system and his security system is getting hacked into, and he's trying to find out who is doing this. So he's basically interrogating all the Avengers on the team. He interrogates Natasha when they're sparring, which isn't a good idea because he gets his, he gets beat up pretty bad. She's like, "Why are you questioning me?" And then he also goes to basically interview Bruce Banner, which is another stupid idea because what if he gets too angry? It turns into
well, he's always angry.
Yeah, he turns into the zucchini, and so he's yelling at Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner's yelling at him, but they have all these SHIELD agents around him, and then Bruce Banner is like, "We shouldn't be talking about this in the lab."
Yeah.
And it's cool because Tony Stark's got this device that masks what they're saying, so they're talking about like. It's like, oh, who dips their fries in mayonnaise, and that was kind of neat. Like, it was kind of like silly. It's like something you'd see off like Spy Kids.
Canadians. I think it's called poutine.
Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is just totally unnecessary if you want to play the game or if you're really hyped up about this game. I would say this is a good comic to get, but it doesn't,
Is it a one shot? Like, is this going to tie into the others? Do you think? Like, does it say?
Yeah, it doesn't really say, but I imagine it probably ties into everything. It's probably going to be a continuous thing, and the next issue is going to be Thor.
Yeah, and so that cover. Whew.
Yeah, he looks dumb.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's whatever. It's just based on the game, and what you see is what you get.
So would you not recommend this, or would you?
If I was a complete fanboy just saying this game does nothing wrong and it looks completely game of the year, which is all of Reddit.
Yeah, subreddit.
Yeah, oh my God.
Avengers.
Yeah, don't go there. I would say get it.
And don't express your opinion there either.
No, don't.
Not happy about it.
Don't be, objective whatsoever. Yeah. But I would say, yeah, if you're hyped about the game, you're hardcore into it, definitely get it.
Sure.
Everyone else, I mean, this is just a regular story. It's it's all right. But that's all we have for this week, guys. And we are going to be coming out at you guys with a holiday shopping guide, a little Lamest shopping guide. And then we're also doing a review for a new board game called Marvel Champions.
Yep. Please be sure to check out our previous video where Claude and I review Crisis Protocol.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all for this week, and we will catch you guys later.
Thanks so much. Stay lame.
See ya.